සමරන්නේ නැද්ද?
නිවාඩු දිනයක් තමයි. නමුත් අපි මේ රාජකාරියට බැඳිලා ඉනවා පැය 24.
ඇයි වැඩ කරන්නේ?
කොහොමද අපිට වැඩ දෙනවා මන්ත්‍යා?
ඈ?
අපිට කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්න වෙයි? ඒක කරන්න දෙන්න දෙන්නම ඕනේ.
කම්කරු දිනේ සමරන්නේ නැද්ද?
වැඩ මාත්‍ය පුරාගෙන තෝරන්නේ දින කම්කරු කරලා
මිනිස්සු පාඩ කුණු දානවනේ.
පාඩ කුණු දානවා මාත්‍ය තෝරේ ගන්න ඕනේ පාඩ දා පුංගමේ.
දිනේ සමරන්නේ නැද්ද?
නෑ අපිට ඕවට යන වෙලාවට උදේ ආවේ ගම 7 වෙනකන් ඉතින් 4 වෙනකන් ඉතින් වැඩ. ඒ නිසා අපි ආයි මාඩුව ගන්න වෙලාවට තමයි ඉතින් මාඩුව ගන්න වෙන්නේ.
කම්කරු දිනේ සමරන්නේ නැද්ද?
කම්කරු දිනේ යන්න විදියක් නෑ. වැඩ ගන්න කවුරුත් නෑනේ මාත්‍යෝ. ඒක අපි වැඩ ගන්න කවුරුත් නැති නිසා තමයි මේ අපි දිනේ වැඩ ගන්නේ.
These are the views that were expressed by several workers of our country while the major political parties organized May Day rallies across the country to celebrate the Workers' Day. We begin tonight's primetime news bulletin by saluting the work of the true workers of this country. Let's now take a look at tonight's headlines.
Sri Lanka celebrates postponed Workers' Day. SLFP defectors remain loyal to the party. Former ministers attend the SLFP May Day rally. Vacancies in the Foreign Service. Second session of the 8th Parliament to convene tomorrow. Suspects in the theft of a medal awarded to Dr. S. James Pires remanded. Vladimir Putin sworn in as Russian president for record 4th term.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party's May Day rally was held in Chenkaladi, Batticaloa today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The theme of this year's rally was Labour Power for National Unity.
The SLFP rally in Mavadivembu Chenkaladi commenced with processions held by electorate organisers, party activists and representatives of trade unions affiliated to the SLFP. The May Day celebrations commenced with multi-faith religious observances. SLFP chairman President Maithripala Sirisena then arrived at the May Day rally. Dayasiri Jayasekara, Tilanga Sumutipala and Dylan Pereira, who recently resigned from the government, also arrived at the venue of the May Day rally. However, they left the premises shortly after the rally commenced. SLFP Treasurer S.B. Disanayaka, who was also among the group that defected from the government, participated in the May Day rally.
All workers know that the SLFP is the party that is closest to them. Your Excellency, after you became the president, every single person living in this country, all 20 million people, are entitled to insurance without having to spend a single rupee. After Maithripala Sirisena became president, all of your homes and businesses have been insured with you having to spend a single rupee. We have a small problem, Your Excellency, because the people are unaware of what has been done. This May Day rally is a historic one for us as the SLFP. Today, we have been able to distance ourselves from communalism and hold a May Day rally together with the minority communities. I say to you now that we came to Batticaloa today with the hope of forming an SLFP government. I guarantee to you at this May Day rally that we will not continue on with the elephant. We will not continue on with the flower bud either. I give you the guarantee that we are dedicated to forming an SLFP government under President Maithripala Sirisena. We will make whatever sacrifice is needed for this. Positions are not important to us.
An award was also presented to President Maithripala Sirisena in recognition of services rendered to workers.
When building national unity and friendly ties between communities, the work that has to be done for the working class and the trade union movement is immense. For the past 3.5 years, many of the responsibilities and duties required to build unity among communities was accomplished in a post-war scenario. Problems cannot be solved with war and guns. Problems should be resolved through humanity and humaneness. Political parties must work with honesty. There are many in this country who see dreams of attaining power, but how many of these political leaders are honestly committed to national unity? We respectfully call on and appeal to all workers and trade unions in the country to join in the effort to build national harmony. So the Sri Lanka Freedom Party hopes to use the past experiences and initiate a new program for the sake of the people. Some ask me if I will retire in 2020. It is widely spread on social media that I would retire in 2020. No, I will not retire in 2020 because there is a lot more to do.
The May Day rally organised by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held at the Samanala grounds in Galle under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The theme of the SLPP May Day rally revolved around taxation, betrayal of the public mandate, the bond scam, selling of public property, as well as against oppression. After the rally reached the Samanala grounds, the meeting commenced around 3 p.m.
The May Day celebrations of the People's Liberation Front or the Janata Vimukti Peramuna was held at the BRC grounds this afternoon.
The May Day rally titled Nationalist Rule to Build Social Justice and Unity began with the march at Campbell Grounds at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Party leaders, foreign representatives, artists and trade union leaders attended the rally. The march was made colourful with decorations symbolising International Workers' Day. The march reached the BRC grounds at 4 p.m. where the rally began. Several May Day proposals were presented at the rally which reflect the current political situation.
The second session of the 8th Parliament will commence at 2:15 p.m. tomorrow under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. Parliament was prorogued effective midnight on the 12th of April 2018 in line with powers vested in the President under the Constitution. Tomorrow's sitting of Parliament will commence with a customary ceremony. The President and First Lady will arrive at Parliament at 1:40 p.m. Subsequently, the President's standard will be hoisted, followed by the salutation. As per parliamentary tradition, the quorum will be rung at 2:10 p.m, following which MPs will take their seats. The Speaker and the Secretary-General of Parliament and the President will then enter the chamber. The President will then address Parliament, marking the beginning of the sitting.
At present, we do not use the term throne speech anymore. This was the case under the Salisbury Constitution. However, under the current law, the President makes what is called a policy statement at the maiden sitting. In this instance, though, the term that we are using is the address of His Excellency the President. As per a decision made at the party leaders' meeting, a debate on this address will be held on Thursday. Members will simply express their views on the address. That is all.
Speaking at the May Day rally of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in Galle today, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed the following views.
Though Ranil won, the UNP has lost. Today, Olivihara is saying the UNP will be swept away at the next election. That is exactly what we have to say as well. Both the UNP and the country has lost. They are postponing the elections. They have postponed the provincial council elections and it's been close to a year since they have been dissolved. The others are also to be dissolved. They are scared. If they cannot hold the provincial council elections, we call for the general elections so that we could begin steering the people of this country.
The Prime Minister yesterday said construction of the Central Expressway is being done through a proper tender process. However, construction of the Central Expressway came under strong criticism since the way beginning, as it is believed to be marred with impropriety.
Some thought that the economy would be destroyed. The economy was not destroyed. Somehow, because of the work we had done, we were able to drag the economy forward. All payments for the Hambantota port have now been made. We have commenced the Central Expressway now and tenders have been awarded.
However, it must be noted the tender process was not an open one. It was widely reported the RDA had written to the Japanese Special Envoy requesting to make 3 recommendations, each for the construction and consultation of the Central Expressway. Japan has thereafter written back with 3 contractors, namely Wakachiku, Penta Ocean and Taisei, who initially expressed interest in the construction project. Wakachiku's area of expertise was building bridges, while Penta Ocean was well known for naval engineering and land reclamation. Due to the lack of experience on road constructions, their bids were disqualified and Taisei was selected. However, Taisei failed to provide a bid security and was therefore deemed unfit for the project. According to Sri Lankan law, if a bidder fails to present a bid security, it is considered as a complete deviation of due process in awarding the tender. In addition, bodies like the Standing Cabinet-appointed Procurement Committee have been established to ensure the due process is followed and the bidders have no interaction with the government body responsible for a project. It was reported the then Minister of Highways had held discussions with the bidders for the construction of the Central Expressway. Thereafter, following a request made to the Japanese ambassador's office, a fourth bid was made, this time from Fujita Corp. However, since Fujita was also deemed unfit for the project, the construction reverted to Taisei Corporation. Earlier, Taisei Corporation was charged with bid rigging by the Japan Fair Trade Commission, and allegations were also levelled against Taisei for a sinkhole that appeared in the Fukuoka city. Moreover, the people questioned why the loan facility carries an insurance premium of 10.07%. The insurance premium has been agreed as an advance payment of $107 million. This also raises more serious questions. The loan on commercial terms from the Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank will cost the country a lot more than if it was state concessionary credit from the Japanese government from institutions like JICA. Therefore, the question is, where is the transparency in this tender process for the Central Expressway the Prime Minister speaks about? Will the Prime Minister continue to misrepresent and lie to the people just as he did with the central bank treasury bond scam?
Addressing the May Day rally of the United National Party yesterday, party leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said the Samurdhi Fund and the Samurdhi Bank will be brought under the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Executive Director of the Campaign for Free and Fair Elections, or CAFE, Kirti Tennakon, spoke on the matter.
This is a very controversial matter. There are 1,074 Samurdhi banks in this country. These 1,074 Samurdhi banks function under 331 companies, and there are close to 140 billion rupees in deposits in the societies and committees under these 331 companies. There is a clear regulation of the central bank for these 1,074 banks. If the act regarding these Samurdhi banks is to be amended, it has to be passed through a two-thirds majority in Parliament. In addition to this, it should also be taken up for a vote at provincial councils and be passed there as well. This provision was included by former Chief Justice Shirani Bandaranaike when it was referred to at the Supreme Court. Politicians came to the point of bringing an impeachment motion against Shirani Bandaranaike because of a decision she took preventing the use of deposits in Samurdhi banks for political use. So not even a week after taking over the Samurdhi ministry, the United National Party, the Good Governance government, is trying to get their hands on this 140 billion rupees in Samurdhi deposits.
5 heads of mission posts in Sri Lankan embassies and high commissions overseas have been vacant for several months. According to the official website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the position of High Commissioners in the UK and Kenya and ambassadors to the US, Russia and Brazil are vacant. The position of ambassador to the United States, a major international influence for the country politically, economically and in terms of foreign policy, has been vacant for 9 months. The vacancy arose when former ambassador Prasad Karyavasam was appointed as secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Sri Lankan mission in the UK also plays an important role in advancing the country's foreign policy. The position of High Commissioner in the UK has been vacant since the conclusion of the term of Amari Wijewardena. The position of Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia, another major international partner, has been vacant since March. This position has been vacant since the conclusion of the term of Dr. Saman Veerasinghe. The US, UK and Russia also happen to be 3 of the largest sources of export revenue and foreign exchange for the country.
During the past 3 years, the President, the Prime Minister and their people travelled to over 70 countries to strengthen the foreign services. They said that the support of these nations will be obtained. But until today, they have been unable to appoint ambassadors and high commissioners to USA, Brazil, Russia and England. The President, the Prime Minister and Madam Chandrika are involved. Ranil Wickremesinghe pulls this to one side. President Maithripala Sirisena pulls this to another. The Minister also pulls it to a different direction. The foreign service is collapsing. They have been unable to appoint heads of mission to the major countries. They travel overseas saying they would strengthen the services. This is the hypocrisy of the government. They travel with their families, but there are no ambassadors. So therefore, if you have any shame, appoint the ambassadors.
We now cross over to the Stein studios in Ratmalana. Shamil Razuldin and Sonali Vanikabadage are standing by to provide us an in-depth analysis on the stories we just followed about the discrepancies in the foreign service, the tender process of highways as well as the Samurdhi Fund.
Major countries.
That's right. The USA, the UK, Russia, Brazil, Kenya. Now, these are all countries where Sri Lanka needs to show its strategic positioning.
Several incidents that involve Sri Lankan diplomats brought disrepute to the country. One of them is the assault of former High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Chris Norris, by Sergeant Divas Gunawardena.
That's not all. What about the incident of Jali Vikramasuriya, who is wanted by the law enforcement authorities, Udayanga Veeratunga, against whom a red notice has been issued by Interpol?
Now, incidentally, Sonali, Sergeant Divas Gunawardena was a former close aide of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Also, Jalia and Udayanga are also cousins of the former president himself.
Now, what we need to remember, Shamir, is that high commissioners and diplomats, ambassadors, these are the people who represent Sri Lanka at the highest echelons.
These services are extremely important to a country like Sri Lanka, and it is important to understand that these diplomats must keep the reputation of the country and the entire nation as a whole.
That's right. So why aren't these vacancies being filled?
All these people are being appointed based on the whim and fancy of many individuals, including
the president on the one hand, the prime minister on the other, former presidents.
It is a pity indeed.
That's right, Shamir. Now, that's not all. The Prime Minister speaks about calling for tenders for the highway projects. Now, Shamir, tenders, accelerated development, highways, these all go hand in hand.
The Prime Minister tries to show that he is democratic, but ultimately he is
absolutely not.
Unfortunately indeed. Now, yesterday the Prime Minister's statement in the May Day rally did not only send shivers down the spine of many, but also down the spines of many economic pundits when he said the Samurdhi Bank will be taken under the central bank, which means it's going to come straight inside his pocket.
That's right. Now, Shamir, over the recent past, we've seen the manner in which the CBSL, or the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, has come under a lot of controversy.
Why? Because of the central bank bond controversy on one hand, and now the depreciation of the Sri Lankan rupee.
That's right. Now, what about the faith of the people? What about the Samurdhi funds, which contain billions of rupees of the poor people of this country?
Are we heading from the frying pan into the fire? The call is yours.
Transparency International Sri Lanka has issued a media release regarding the recent arrest of two public sector officials. TISL applauds the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery and corruption for the swift action taken to apprehend the President's Chief of Staff, IHK Mahanama, and the former Chairman of the State Timber Corporation, P. Dissanayake, on charges of soliciting a bribe and accepting a sum of 20 million rupees as an advance payment.
Transparency International Sri Lanka says it believes this sets an excellent example of collaboration between the private sector and the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to counter public sector corruption. Whilst welcoming President Maithripala Sirisena's approval to immediately interdict the officials concerned and instructions to authorities to enforce law without obstruction, Transparency International Sri Lanka says it wishes to highlight the importance of transitioning to a system of accountability that functions independently of political power without requiring political clearance to proceed. Transparency International also calls on the Bribery Commission to actively pursue investigations into other stalled investment projects which may uncover further instances of grand corruption. Transparency International Sri Lanka adds that this case highlights the need to attract candidates with the right expertise for state sector positions.
The 6 suspects who were arrested over the theft of the medal presented to the late Dr. Lester James Pierce at the International Film Festival of India in the year 2000 was remanded until the 21st of this month. The suspects were remanded when they were produced before the Colombo Additional Magistrate Daminda Velikudapitiya.
The additional magistrate ordered the prison superintendent to present 2 of the suspects to court for an identification parade, as it has been revealed they were directly involved in the theft. On Saturday, the stolen medal was found on the luggage rack of a private bus operating from Kaduvela to Kolpiti.
In the footage from the funeral site, this medal can be seen at around 10:30 in the morning. It gets stolen by around 11 a.m. This was determined through footage filmed at the funeral ceremony and other unedited footage. There is also footage of a mobile phone being stolen from atop a cupboard, but it is only a person's arm which can be seen in the frame. Investigators have found a suspicious three-wheeler. 3 people get off this three-wheeler and make their way to the funeral house. At around 7:30 in the morning on the 5th, both the Bambalapitia and Kolpiti police received 2 separate phone calls saying that the medal has been found inside a private bus. The award is found after an unidentified individual on his way out of the bus informs the driver and conductor of the bus that there is a parcel with no owner in the front seat. One of the 2 CCTV footage shows the number plate of the suspicious three-wheeler. The footage also shows the 3 suspects who get off the three-wheeler. Investigators identify this individual as the person who drives the three-wheeler seen in the footage. Further investigations enable the arrest of 3 other suspects. What this group does is, they go to funerals of well-known people which are located in Colombo and its surroundings and steal items.
Being prepared is key during a flood. The 3rd and final day of the Gammadda program to create awareness on pre-flood preparations was held in the Kalutara district today.
The program was organized by Gammadda with the assistance of the Asia Pacific Alliance for Disaster Management, John Keel's Holdings, Nations Trust Bank, the respective district secretariats and Pradesh Sabhas, as well as the Life Saving Association of Sri Lanka. The program was conducted today centering the Panapitia, Thebuana and Maduravala areas in the Kalutara district. The first program to create awareness on pre-flood preparedness was held today at the Galpatha Purana Viharya in Panapitia. Those who attended the workshop were educated through practical exercises on safety measures and life-saving procedures at times of a flood.
Brother, no matter the color, 'cause love will find a way.
We did not have the knowledge required to face something like this. Today we were educated on the much needed things that have to be done.
We've never had such an experience and we are very happy about being given this opportunity. We thank the Citizen Media Network. If such programs are constantly carried out, it would be helpful for the people. It would be great if schools are also given the same kind of awareness. It is a very important program.
Thereafter, the people of the Thebuana area were educated at the Granthakara Pirivena.
When the Kaluganga overflows, Thebuana is the first place in this area which floods. I remember when it happened. The Citizen Media Network together with the Sri Lanka Navy donated dry rations at the camp operated at the Thebuana school. I admire this program more which focuses on preparedness. This is essential. I think such programs are quite important for this area. To our retired DIG Kitsiri Dayananda, Sirasa and Mrs. Suranga as well as everyone else, including Piyananda Thera, will always be with you, with the people.
We learned a lot of things. We thank the Newsfirst Gammadda. We didn't know most of the things you taught us.
The final workshop was conducted at the Maduravala Ampitikala Sri Sumangala Ramya in Kalutara. A group including civil society representatives and state sector officials were present for this program.
The World Rubber Summit 2018, organized by the International Rubber Study Group together with the Ministry of Plantation Industry, began in Colombo today. The theme for the World Rubber Summit this year is breaking barriers towards sustainable growth.
Over the last several years, the summit was held in Singapore, and this is the first time it is held outside Singapore. The summit provides an opportunity for the global rubber industry to discuss the current challenges the industry is facing and discuss future opportunities. A large number of global industry professionals, experts and producers attended the summit today, providing the Sri Lankan rubber industry stakeholders to engage with the global rubber community. The summit will also be a platform to find new foreign markets and expand the existing markets for natural rubber and finished products of Sri Lanka. Several top officials of the International Rubber Study Group addressed the summit. The keynote speech of the opening ceremony was delivered by Minister of Plantation Industries, Navin Disanayaka.
There are certain
realities with political dimensions that I am concerned with. One such reality is that the poor and vulnerable small rubber farmers are not going to listen with admiration to a policy that compels them to remain poor to keep sustaining global value chains. The poor citizenry are worried about their own environments when disturbed by big businesses. The ordinary man perceives sustainability in a way that is related to his own environment and livelihood needs.
According to the 2017 annual report of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, rubber exports brought in a revenue of $38.9 million. The annual report shows rubber production grew by 5.1% to 83.1 million kilograms in 2017 from 79.1 million kilograms recorded in 2016.
Let's now take a look at the day's illustrated news by Asanka Latwaheti. And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasni Atada. Good night.